The objective today is to learn how to create tabs for your personal website. First thing we'll do is Google the word HTML tabs. Part of this video series is me showing you how to learn, so learning how to learn. Learning how to take the learning into your own hands. After we've found the code to make the tabs, we'll go ahead and copy and paste. And then I just want you to create your own content from there. And let me give you a little challenge here. I'm saying that coding is all about noticing the little things. That is attention to details, something that is great to put on your resume. So as a challenge, I've made a mistake on this slide. Let's see if you can notice what it is. And if you're in my class, go ahead and write that answer in Canvas so I can see. All right, so let's go find tabs. I'll go here to a blank browser. I'm going to type in HTML tabs. I like W3 Schools, so let me just click that first link. It says tabs are perfect for single-page web applications or for web pages capable of displaying different subjects. So I see here that they have 3 cities as a tab. That looks good. That looks like what I want to create. And rather than just going down here, copying and pasting, and then putting it on my website, this is my personal website from before. I'm going to go ahead and open that up. Here on W3 Schools, I can just click Try It Yourself. So if I go to Make Changes, I can see it working here before I try to go through that long process of opening this up in a browser. Okay, so I see here after the head tag is some new stuff I haven't seen before. And I'll pretend not to know what any of this is. But I do know Mr. H has said that style is all about CSS. This must be CSS code. Arial is a type of font. What other fonts are there out there? Fonts.com looks like a good website to go to. Alright, after scrolling around a little, I found one that I like, Soho. See if that works. Okay, it definitely changed. Let's see if I can Control Z. Yep, it'll undo. So let me run that. Okay. And then if I Control Y, it'll redo, so I don't have to type that whole thing again. I know 4 letters is way too much. Alright, I like the change. But I noticed that this didn't change at all. This font must just be for, okay, the body. Now we'll have tab style. Border and background color. Okay, I'm not a fan of that background color. I could randomly try to change these numbers and see what happens. Or I can go over here and Google colors in hexadecimal. Click this website that says math is fun. And if I move these values, it'll show different colors. There's got to be a better site where I can see the colors before I just randomly try to move those scroll bars around. W3 Schools, good website. Now this is much better. It's a Monday in October for me, so I'm in like a fall color mood. This looks good. So scroll down, I'll copy this over here, paste it, run. Okay, I like it. The border is 1 pixel. Let me change that to 2. Cool. Let's double that, make it even more different. Now style for buttons, I like that. So background color, it's going to inherit. I could Google what this means, but for the sake of this video, let me go ahead and pick up the pace. I'm just going to change the font size on here so it's a bit bigger, 25. It's a good number I like to go with. Okay, so now let's change the content. This is a personal website I want to create. So let me delete this stuff from last time. Hello world is a good thing to say. I'll create a smaller headline, but let's pretend like I completely forgot how to do that. Right here I see it says H2. Which is bigger, H1 or H2? Okay, H2 is smaller, so that'll work. So I'm going to have really big words on my site that says hello world, and then I'm going to have smaller words that say welcome to Mr. H's world. Okay, over here I wanted to keep all this styling, so copy everything here. paste it inside the head tag. Just so you know, the title page, this is the title that'll be on the browser tab. So instead of saying title page, let's say Mr. H, you could put your name, whatever else you want there. Be creative with this. Okay, so I'm gonna go back here. I don't need that. Let me just get that out in case I forget. So tabs, click the buttons inside the tab. Okay, this part right here is the magical part I really want. And the way this person does it is interesting. So they create a division class called tab, and then every button has its own little class, each of them called tab links. And then just the name, not what's going on. But if I keep reading down here, there's a function. This is a JavaScript thing. There's a function that says Open City. So I saw that word up here, Open City. So Open City, on the event that I click, okay, it says on click right here. When I click on one of these, something will happen. Down here it says what happens. Okay, so this is some complicated JavaScript that we'll get to later. I just want to keep it simple for now. So let me copy everything in the script area and the body area, but not the top. Okay, so starting right there, Control copy. I'll go over here, scroll down, go inside the body, paste. Now when I run this code, the exact same words are going to be here. Let me change those words. I'm going to think about how I would create a personal website and the types of hobbies or passions I have. So starting here, with London, let me change that to coding. Instead of Paris, I'll go with Star Trek. And instead of Tokyo, let's go with T. Those changes, I kind of need to remember if I'm going to go down here. So instead of London, I had coding. Again, changing code to London to coding right there. And then the paragraph is saying stuff about the tab. Here I can write something about coding, so I could say something like, I really like JavaScript. Okay, I spared you all the changes I made, but they have been made. Let me go down to the JavaScript and see if there's anything I need to change, since I went around and I changed the div ID on every one. What I didn't tell you about is for the ID, I just made these words much shorter than the actual tab title. That way when I'm coding stuff up, it's easier. So that's something you'll see in programming. People like to use very short names, abbreviations all the time. I heard on a podcast one time somebody said you only have so many keystrokes in your life. So when you can save the number of keys you're typing every day, save yourself some of that typing, that's a good thing. However, you have to balance that with descriptive names. So I see it says function, open city, and then city name. I scroll up here and look at where that pops up again. Big thing in coding, you're going to see stuff built on top of itself all the time. So for the entire division, this is given a class name tab. That's very reasonable. Button is tab links. But the on-click event is called Open City. We could change that to be more descriptive for our site. What if I just changed all of this to S for stuff? Not very descriptive, right? But it is satisfying our needs. If I scroll down, instead of Open City, I went with S. This function is getting a parameter called event, so that's right here. And then it's getting another parameter called city name. Now I may have deleted that, so I'll go over here and look around. I don't see anything that says city name. So let me just jump over here and I'll just say stuff name. Alright, for this function to work, we're going to have a variable called I, a variable called tab content, and one called tab links, and you'll see tab links right here. Okay, so there's a lot going on here. Let's see if I could just Control A, Control C to copy it all, jump over here and paste it all to see what happens when I run it. Nothing's working, so I must have massively broken something. This is the frustrating part, but an enjoyable part to me about programming. And we're barely programming here, right? We're just trying to create a web page. So I scroll to the top and I see that this part's working just fine. So let me go right here. The breaking seems to begin in my tabs. Oh, and I didn't change the name here, so I should do that now. My first thing was coding. And then I'll run that again. Okay, so that part got fixed. Now for tab content, What happens if I take this out? Nothing. I'll put it back though, because I wonder if it was just there for my own sake. Oh, I did change the ID on all of them. So I go down here and it says document get element by ID and it's called city name. I changed that to stuff name. See if that fixes the problem. I'll run. No, it didn't fix the problem. Alright, so I'm really struggling here. Let me copy all that, put it over here because I did make some progress. Let me save this just in case something happens to my computer. Okay, so I had made some sort of mistake and I couldn't figure out what it was. What did I do wrong? Do you ever have these moments? If you want to be involved in programming, you're going to have to get used to this feeling. In my class, I have this policy that you can struggle for 5 minutes all by yourself, but then after 5 minutes, you should really just ask me. And at any time, you can ask a friend. Sometimes this is just a great way to get to know somebody. My target audience is mostly teenagers, and guess what teenagers like to do? Completely give up and then wait for an education to be handed to them on a golden platter. This is not how real life works, and that's not ever how programming will work. At least not if you're going to get paid to do it. But before I reveal to you the actual mistake, can anyone tell me what I should have done in the beginning before all this struggle started? Realize I should have never left my developing environment. I should have never clicked away from W3 Schools, and every change I made there should have just been monitored by myself, should have just been tested. That way, if there was a mistake somewhere in the code, I would have caught it early. So 2 of my favorite memes about consequences. And just know that I, as an adult, do this often. I gamble because sometimes the consequences are totally positive. And ironically, it only works out about 50% of the time for me. Try to take shortcuts to save myself time, end up spending more time, and it's great for you to see this. That way you can just keep in mind that mistakes are very okay. So let's go back to the code and I'll show you how to fix it. I even made the screen bigger. So right down here where it says T, track, and code, these are corresponding with this. So now when I run it, I click start track, there's the words I wrote. Let me click T, let me click coding. So that's it for this lesson. I just wanted to teach you how to teach yourself to find code for HTML on this personal website you created or are creating. Right now, my next problem to fix is I don't know how to click this and get it off. So I imagine that's going to be something I want to do in the future. But that'll be for the future.